Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we will be playing this Logbait deck with the Evo Tesla and the Evo Skeletons. I hope you guys enjoy. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and comment down below what decks you'd like me to use in the future, and if you're enjoying the Road to Top 1K series. I am going over a lot of these games in replay mode because I was trying to record some games earlier, but unfortunately I did come across a lot of random Prince decks now that Prince is really good. I came across like a Golem Prince E-Barbs which Balloon Freeze deck. It was really weird, so it was really annoying, but then I ended up winning 4 games in a row, so these are the 4 games I'm going to show you guys. We do have a nice start here against this giant player. For some reason he just decides to completely ignore my princess and just try to go in for a push. I guess that's what giant players like to do. I go for the Tesla on the left just because if he has a, I probably should have gone for it lower, but if he had a Void it would have been harder to hit it, and it would have been easier for me to play something into his Void is what I'm saying. And here I was feeling pretty confident because I was up quite a bit of damage, which is what you need in a giant deck against a giant matchup, and I needed to, as long as I could defend, everything would be fine. I knew his Evo Wizard was coming up, so I had to be careful. I waited till max elixir and just went for a barrel, because I didn't want to cycle my knight into his giant immediately, because then I knew my knight would just die too fast. So I go for the barrel first, let my elixir build back up, and then I go for the knight, so the knight won't be at the bridge by the time the giant's there. He goes for the Evo Knight, so I go E-Spirit last second, so the Dagger Duchess can deal a lot of damage to the knight, and it hits all the bats. And then he does a really bad Void there, hitting the princess as well, which gives me time to put the knight down and allow for the Tesla to help clean everything up. Here, he is up quite a bit of elixir, and I know he's probably going to try to predict my princess, and since I'm up so much damage, I decided not to go for a Princess the Bridge. He is forced to finally use the arrows. I think that's the first time he actually defended anything I did. So here, I was feeling still confident. I'm cycling all my cards in the back so I can get my knight. Since it's been working just putting my knight in the back and then going Tesla, I just keep doing that. And he went with an Evo Wizard here, but it wasn't great because my Tesla actually locked onto it, which was kind of nice. And the Evo Tesla kind of saved me here as well, as it helped against the Night Witch and slowed the giant down. And I knew he was going to arrows there, so I waited to play Evo Skellies until he arrowed. Doesn't really matter that he got the giant hit, because he obviously would have gotten way more if I played that straight into the arrows. So you always got to try to keep track of their spells. Like, I knew he had Void and I knew he had arrows, so if he ever went for an arrows on my princess or barrel, I knew I could do the opposite thing and get away with it pretty easily, unless because he wouldn't really Void it for good enough value. He goes with the balloon here trying to get something, but luckily Rocket will clean it up. So here we are going into overtime, and it's looking good for me. He tried to predict my princess, which is nice, obviously, because it's just a waste of 3 elixir for him, and I can just set up with the princess anyways. He does have to go for the arrows on the barrel again, but his tower is starting to get lower. I just cycle an E-Spirit first again, just to keep my knight a little bit farther back. I knew he'd go for the fisherman, so I just went for princess farther back, and then I went Evo Skellies up high, so we couldn't arrow the Evo Skellies plus princess at the same time, even though he didn't have arrows in cycle. And the fisherman hooked on to the Tesla that was underground somehow. That was interesting, but this match was just like super hectic all the way through. Like, he was just spamming giants the whole way. I was cycling Evo Teslas pretty fast. I got an Evo Tesla down. Really helped me because it took off the shield of the Evo Wizard. Here I thought I was in trouble, but I just went for Skellies and then logged, and I got a knight down, and that was kind of a bad Void in my opinion, because it really didn't do much. I think I did actually go for an E-Spirit to stop the wizard shot on the left side, just in case. And here, there's not much he can do, because I could just cycle back to another knight as well. And Evo Skellies do a nice job cleaning up. He doesn't have anything in cycle to kill it, so I can just go for a barrel. If I keep pressuring him at this point, he's not going to be able to win, and yeah, he decided not to do anything, and we take the tower. And in the next game against this guy, he does start off with the emote spam. Who would ever do such a thing to YT Blue Blueberry? I do not know, but he does go with the Barbarians, and I say good game because I'm thinking it's Lava Hound, and I have Tesla, and how am I going to win this one? But we just go for the Log Princess to clean up the Barbarians easily. If he spelled the Princess, it wouldn't have really mattered, because after getting the Log plus one shot of the Princess, it's pretty nice. He does go with the Giant Skeleton, so I know the Princess is as good as dead because of the bomb. Somehow the Princess splashes the tower. I'm not complaining. I see the Inferno Dragon, and I just go for a Tesla, because I don't want anything else to happen. I also, if you guys noticed, I went for Skellies behind the Giant Skeleton just to keep the Inferno Dragon distracted a bit longer, so that my defenses didn't die immediately. He did decide to go in for a balloon as soon as I went Goblin Barrel, so I just get a rocket off, which is really nice because he had to arrow my Goblin Barrel, meaning that was all a positive 1 elixir trade for me. So now I'm up about one-ish elixir, which is kind of nice. It doesn't really matter that much, but he's also laughing because he's mad. I have Logbait, but there's much worse decks in the meta right now. A Goblin Machine. But anyways, I do go for a Princess the Back because I don't really like the look of this deck. I don't know the full deck, and I don't want to get caught off guard by anything. So I'm fine with him going Giant Skelly. I can just go Knight back again. I went Skeletons just in case he went for Inferno Dragon. He didn't. He went for the LP, so I just went for the barrel trying to pressure him. And that did force out his Evo Barbarians. I just go on the log to make sure the Giant Skelly dies, and Princess in case he activates the ability, which he didn't. He decided to go in with the Balloon, and I decided to go in with the Tesla instead of Rocket because I knew I could get away with it. Here he tries to actually get some cheeky damage with a freeze, and I'm like, what the heck? But luckily I actually played the Princess preemptively just to try to avoid as much damage as possible, and I had Evo Skelly, so I ended up taking no damage, and I now knew he had freeze, which was kind of nice because that was like his surprise factor. Here he went with the Balloon. I just decided to go Rocket because I thought he'd go ability, which he did. Unfortunately I didn't hit the Guardian, but that's okay because I had Knight to clean it up. I don't think I went Princess the Bridge. I went Princess the Bridge the other lane. Okay, yeah. Because I knew he'd Giant Skelly, but I was just afraid of him building up a push on one side, so I wanted to go for it opposite. And since he did go for the bats there, the Evo Tesla Shockwave does kill the Evo bats if they haven't healed at all, so that's why I did go for that. It is kind of a nice interaction. He went for the LP, but this was all basically dead because of the Evo Tesla, all these barbarians coming up. I went for the Princess just in case he tried to go like Balloon Freeze or something, but he didn't. He went for the Inferno Dragon in the back, so I just rocketed. Just because I knew he'd have to respond to my Princess, and I went Knight to block because I knew he'd Balloon, which ended up really paying off because I knew he'd Balloon after I rocketed because he'd think he could get through. And so I just blocked the bridge, and he ended up going for the Balloon, which was nice. Caught him off guard with that one. And now I was back to my rocket, so I kind of got away with the rocket damage. And now I'm looking pretty good on damage on each side, so I just kind of go the back. I'm taking it slow again. He goes Giant Skelly. I think I cycled Tesla here, yeah, because I'm trying to get to my Evo Tesla, and just setting up if he does go for a Balloon, it's going to help out. I'm not sure if that was a good ability or not, because I feel like the LP was kind of dead anyways. Like, I just go for another Knight anyways, and then I can rocket away the Balloon so he can't get a freeze off or anything. He does have to go for the Giant Skelly. The annoying thing for him with his deck is all his cards are so expensive, so it's so hard for him to deal with Princess the Bridge. But I still have to be careful. I go Evo Tesla for the Inferno Dragon, but he still has to be I still have to be careful of him getting same push, same lane value with the, what do you call it? His cards. And I don't know what he did there. Watching this back right now, he had 10 elixir. He could have frozen my tower way earlier. I'm honestly not sure why he didn't. I could have definitely lost there, but he did catch me with the LP there. I was kind of nervous here, but I knew I could just cycle back to my Tesla and he wouldn't be able to do enough damage in time because all he had was freeze, so if I logged to the tower, I'd actually be completely fine here. And this was this is a very close match, guys, I'm not gonna lie. He probably could have gotten the freeze off earlier and caught me off guard, but it's fine, we take the win. Here I'm playing against a Mortar, so I just go for a Knight to block and then test the last second, knowing he probably wouldn't try to defend it. He does go with the Skeletons, so I don't like playing Mortar because it's kind of annoying rocketing it because you get a -2 elixir trade, so I just decided to rocket on the wizard instead. But also it can be annoying to deal with if they just go for tanks in front of it and all I have is Tesla and Knight, but like it's not Expo. Like if they tornado the Knight a certain way or whatever, the Mortar is gonna lock onto the tower if it's too close or far away. Somehow I didn't know he had Tornado at this point, obviously, but somehow I did manage to get my Knight down before the Tornado killed the skeletons, and that kind of saved me. I feel like that kind of saved my game, because if the Mortar had locked onto the tower, he could have defended his Mortar a lot better, and at this point I was feeling really good, because after you defend 2 Mortars, then, you know, I'm fine rocketing on the Evo Mortar, because that's much more of a threat, so I knew, okay, I can deal with the next Mortar, so I'm fine for a little bit. He does go with the log on the Princess. He does go with the Evo Mortar, so I just decided to rocket and E-Spirit last second just in case it didn't shoot the Skelly, and I didn't want to lose my tower to the Evo Wizard, so I just went for my Knight. I knew I was down a bit of Elixir, but his deck really, at this point I didn't know he had Rocket either, but this deck really, he can only get damage with the Mortar, so I knew it was fine. He went for the NATO trying to get a Valkyrie connection, but I just went for the Evo Skellies, and yeah, Valkyrie did end up getting 1 shot, but it's fine. Better than spending anything else, honestly, because in this matchup, like I said, I didn't know he had rockets, so I thought all he could really do was get through with the mortars. I just went for Evo Tesla here. I knew he couldn't really do anything. So I was just kind of playing it slow, knowing I could probably catch up. I went for the barrel. He went Skellies and then NATO to activate King Tower, which was annoying. But also I felt like I was kind of controlling the game because I just kept getting chip damage on the tower. I went for Tesla predicting the mortar. He didn't go for it, but he went Ice Spirit, probably trying to set up for the mortar, so I kind of stopped him from going for the mortar, which was nice. Then he went mortar opposite lane. I just went E-Spirit, he tornadoed everything, and I actually got the Tesla down in time. I didn't want to rocket it because I knew if I rocketed, he obviously had more damage on the other lane, so it wouldn't really be doing much. Like, it would be fine if he got 1 or 2 shots on that side. I knew he was going to go for the NATO there, so I tried to take out the wizard as fast as possible, but it didn't end up working. Nice Evo Tesla lineup, and if you guys are in this matchup, it's always nice to try to line up your Evo Tesla with their Evo mortar, because like you saw there, it's really good at taking out the support troops like the skeleton and spirit and stuff. And then I was able to rocket the tower because I took care of the Evo mortar. And now I can just go for a regular Tesla. So even though he blocked it, I got kind of nervous here because I know I had to rocket and I'd be down a lot of elixir, or else he'd get a ton of damage. And he went for another mortar here. I went for the Evo Skellies, but he actually got the tornado in, and that got 2 wizard shots on my tower and the tornado. So here I'm like, oh gosh, I'm throwing. And he completely countered my barrel. We had 1 minute left in the match. I knew his Evo Mortar was coming up, so I just went for an E-Spirit to clean up the skeletons. Princess to defend because I knew it was coming. Then I rocketed the mortar and Skellies. Somehow the tornado didn't catch my last Skelly, which was nice. That's why I put it up high. So I got no damage taken. I went for the barrel. He actually tried to counter it without the log, but it did get 1 shot. I got a really nice Princess there, knowing it would hit the Valkyrie but splash on the tower, because I needed all the damage I could. He went for a rocket here, which surprised me, and I went for the Evo Tesla first and then rocketed. Unfortunately, he did get the mortar off first, or a mortar off away from the Evo Tesla. I went with the Knight there. I'm not sure why he didn't tornado the Knight back to try to get a connection, but here he just gave up for some reason. I feel like at this point, obviously, there was nothing he could have done, but like when I was at 0 elixir there before I got the Tesla down, he probably could have nadoed my Knight away, but it's whatever. And then in the last game here, we are going to be against 11.david.11. He went Rascal's first play, and I was a bit confused on what his deck would be. I thought it might be Evo Barrel or something like that, so I just went for a barrel of my own. He ended up going for a Hog Rider, so I went Skelly's E-Spirit and then Log last second. And guys, I don't know how that Hog Rider did not get a hit. because the Hog Rider always gets a hit, but somehow, like, frame perfect or something, that Hog did not get a hit. And somehow I only ended up taking damage from the Spear Goblin, but he said good luck, probably because he thought he was gonna win because he had Hog and a Mortar, and it's, like I said, it's already really hard for me to deal with Mortar, but if I have to spend Teslas on the Hog Rider, it's even harder. He just goes for Rascals here, trying to predict my Princess. I go for a Princess knowing he'll probably log it, but I can kill the Rascal Girl, hopefully. And that does end up happening. I also get some nice barrel chip on the left side. He goes for a Mortar. I kind of brain lag here, honestly. I go for the E-Spirit Tesla. I'm like, yes, I counted the Mortar. I'm like, wait a second. I forgot about the Rascal Lord. But then he goes Hog Rider at 0 elixir, because I think he thought I was at 0, but then when I played the Knight, I had the Evo Skellies. I went Princess the Bridge knowing he had almost no elixir. He was waiting to Fireball, I think, because he didn't know if the Evo Skellies would connect. And then here, he just gave up because this guy actually just gave up because he went in too aggressive and there was nothing he could do, which was really funny. This is the funniest give up of the video. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below if you're liking the Road to 1K series and what decks I should use in future videos. But yeah, see you guys in the next one.